Get cracking.
All right, here we go.
Who's the most terrible of them all? It's Hollywood Lean.
Hello, and welcome to Everyone is Terrible. I'm your host, Hollywood Lean. It's my favorite day of the week. And I want to start off with a question. Do you come from a land down under?
Yes, I do.
Where women glow and men plunder?
I do.
Can you hear the thunder? You better run and you better take cover, because today my guest, you know her from Bravo TV's Bloodjack Mediterranean, my friend, my little koala friend, Hannah Ferrier.
Hi, how are you?
It's been so long since I've seen you. Just kidding.
No, it's been like 30 seconds.
It's been like 30 seconds. You guys, I just wrapped Hannah's podcast. It's called Dear Diary, You're Effed. As soon as you're done listening to this one, go play in her playground. Hannah, thanks for coming on. Cool.
Thank you so much for having me. It's always a pleasure to chat with you. And we don't even need to ask permission anymore. It's great.
I know. We don't have any networks holding either one of us back. We're all on our own here in the solo life of podcast, social medias, and Bravo life.
Exactly.
How's mom life?
It's honestly the most exhausting, rewarding thing I've ever done. And I shot 5 seasons of Below Deck. So...
Yes. Hannah had a little pandemic baby. And the last time we saw her on TV, she was getting fired.
Wasn't that fun?
It wasn't that fun, but we all knew you didn't want to do it anymore. It was time, and everything happens for a reason. And now you're living, what you wanted to live, your life.
Yeah.
As a family, your husband, a pandemic baby. So it is what it is, right?
I know my girlfriend said the other day, she's like, I know that you got fired, but I feel like it was almost one of those breakups where someone's going to break up with you. So you quickly break up with them first.
Oh my God, that is a good way to put it. It is what it is, but we'll get into that. Let's talk about a couple little icebreakers before we get into all the terribleness. I have a recent nomination that just came through because I put a poll on the podcast Instagram, Everyone is Terrible Pod, for nominations, and I got one for Kelly Clarkson's husband. So we'll talk about that as well.
Oh yeah, douchebag.
Absolutely.
Who needs $200,000 a month? Shut the fuck up.
Okay, we all need it, but you don't need it specifically. So,
yeah. Exactly. And let Kelly Clarkson sing her little breakaways and leave her and her fucking money alone. Go get your own.
So before we get into that, I wanted to kind of just do a couple icebreaker questions with Hannah. She does come from a boat, so let's talk about some boat things. Hannah, what's the scariest thing that's ever happened on a boat?
So that was probably, I had a boss who was Russian, and he kind of fancied me. He wanted me to be his 6th wife. He had 5 wives before that and 8 girls. 8 girls. So, and in the Russian culture, they want a boy. So he wanted me to be his 6th wife, and he wanted me to give him a boy. And I was very adamant that I did not want to be the 6th wife, and I did not want to birth his child. And one night he was super, super drunk, and there was like a staircase that came down from the top saloon, and he ran into me. It was like a staircase from the top saloon, and then you'd go down to the bottom saloon, and he actually grabbed me by my throat and pushed me against the wall and was trying to kiss me, and I had my hand covered over my mouth. And one of the prostitutes came down and jumped on his back and pulled him off me. So that was definitely the scariest thing.
Oh my God. So he attempted to sexually assault you, basically.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, prostitute. Thank you to that prostitute.
I know, right? I loved her.
Well, here's the thing about prostitutes. They look out for each other.
They certainly do.
there's a sense of community in all prostitutes. I've just heard. I'm from Vegas, and they all look out for each other. They're like, girl, this corner's bad. The cops are coming. You better run. run. Biggest regret on TV?
I just really tried so hard to turn things around with Sandy. And so at the end of the season, when she was like, this isn't your passion, like that just crushed my spirit so badly because, and my regret is probably trying to impress someone that was never going to be impressed with me. Because I just took that so hard and I took it so personally. So I think it was just like, was it necessary to do that kind of like tread and, squish down when we're literally 3 hours from leaving the boat?
Well, as someone that listens to your podcast, and I think you might have said it on the podcast we just filmed, or I've heard it before on your podcast, Dear Diary, that you said specifically that you would never work with her again.
No.
When was the last time you spoke to her?
The reunion.
Oh, wow.
And then the time before that was when I left the boat.
Interesting.
Because she sent me a message and she was like, oh, hey, can I grab your address? I want to send like a present for your baby. I'm like, nah, mate, I'm good. Thanks. Like,
oh, really? You were like, I'm good.
I didn't respond. I was like, are you insane? Like, yeah. Because even
oh my God, this is like Lisa Rinna giving the bunny. Yeah, this is Lisa Rinna giving the bunny to Kim Richards. You're Kim Richards.
Yes.
You're Kim Richards. You're like, I don't want this bunny.
I don't want your bunny.
It's tainted.
Yeah, I was like, God. No, I don't need any presents, but thank you. Because the other thing as well that like really annoyed me with the whole firing is like, obviously when you've been on like a TV show for that long, there's like, I went outside on the dock to call my lawyer, to call my agent, and she came out and then just kept going at me. And I'm like, lady, like you've just fired me for drugs, for anti-anxiety medication, basically on camera. You know what you're doing as well. Like you've done a few seasons. You know how damaging that's going to be to my name. I was very worried about like the backlash of being made to look like a drug addict when I had my anxiety medication on board that everyone knew about.
I was mad for you as someone that takes anti-anxiety medication. I was like, oh, hell motherfucking no. Like people don't.
Right.
I'm not going to go log in at 3:30 in the morning when I'm hyperventilating. I'm going to need a pill. So I need to go log it. Like at 3:30 in the morning, I'm taking the pill.
Yeah. So if I'm having a panic attack, you would like me to like come, wake you up, you go, like that's not how anti-anxiety medication works. And if you're really that against working with somebody who has anxiety, take it up with the fucking network.
Yeah.
Go and speak to Bravo or the production company if you refuse to work with me. Have a conversation with them, not with me.
So if you are not really familiar with Hannah's departure on Bloodjack Mediterranean, she was fired for not basically logging in officially in the boat that she had her prescribed medication with her. It was someone that strictly broke Hannah's privacy, took a picture of like her personal drawer and sent it to the captain. So it was like, we're still not over it. Like Malia's comments are, I'm sure, still turned off. I don't like her. She's currently on the new season of Below Deck, and so is Sandy. So we'll get into that, whatever. My last question, make it a little bit more fun. Real Housewives of Sydney or Dancing with the Stars?
Which one would I do?
Yeah.
They're both a lot of hard work. Have you seen those bitches in Sydney? Oh. I would definitely recommend the Real Housewives of Melbourne. They're fantastic. You would love that. Sydney was awful. It got pulled after one season. I think I would do Dancing with the Stars.
Plus, you get to look amazing afterwards because you just like move for 10 hours a day.
Because you work out. Like this 9-month-old mama body could use 12 hours of working out a day, okay?
That is so funny. Let's get into my terrible TV recommendations. I have a couple shows for you guys to go watch. Okay, so my terrible TV recommendation is for a show on Netflix called Manifest. So these people get on a flight, and when they land, it's been 5 years. So they were presumed dead. They were missing. They were like a mystery that happened, like a flight took off and then never landed. So when they land, they get surrounded by like all the authorities and everyone's like, what's going on? We just landed. They're like, you've been missing for 5 years. They go on individual storylines, obviously, but one girl, she's like on the plane saying, I'm going to say yes to like the guy that asked me to marry him. And like, I should have said yes right away, but I needed time to think. So when she gets off the plane, her boyfriend has moved on and has married her best friend. Gag.
Ouch.
And he's like, dude, I didn't look at another woman for 2 years. Like, I was in therapy. Like, she was there and she never stopped being your best friend. Like, she goes on her Facebook and it's nothing but posts. So like, I miss my friend. Like, I just miss her so much. Rest in peace.
I miss her so much. I had to shag her fiance.
I mean, girl, that's how I was feeling too. I was like, oh, hell no. I would not be happy. So like, other than the plane thing, obviously that's crazy. Like, you get off the plane and it's been 5 years. So you're wondering what the fuck happened to you, because all that happened to you was you were on a flight with turbulence. But the other people, they had to grieve your death. Like, some of these people had children. They're grown up. It's been 5 years. Like,
oh my gosh. Were they on a flight from LA? Had they had too much edibles? Like, I want to know what happened to that 5 years.
Like, girl, what kind of edible did you have? You were out for 5 years. Yeah, that's a lot. It's just a TV recommendation. Like, I'm not fully invested. I'm on like episode 4. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep watching, but it is something that is out there and it's in the top 10 for Netflix and it's on season 2. So DM me, let me know if I should continue. My other terrible TV recommendation is a docuseries on Showtime, and it's called UFO. You guys, this is seriously scary because I am terrified of aliens. This is the U.S. government openly admitting that there's aliens. They've interacted with them. They exist. Footage after footage. I was just insanely shocked. And at the end of the trailer, he says, America needs to know what's coming. They need to be ready. And I'm like, oh my God, are the aliens coming? Are the fucking aliens coming?
That sounds scary. Yeah, maybe they're friendly.
Who knows? My next nomination is for Kelly Clarkson's estranged husband. So Kelly Clarkson may be Miss Independent, but she fully can't break away because her freaking husband is asking for alimony. He's asking for spousal support, and the judge has ordered in his favor. The singer has been ordered to pay Brandon Blackstock nearly $200,000 per month in support amid their ongoing divorce. She has to pay for his legal fees and another $45,000 in child support for their 2 children.
And by the way, that $200,000 is half of what he was asking for. He was asking for $400,000 US a month.
Like, what is that? Is insane to me.
Crazy.
The fact that this man is like going for her this hard, I'm sorry, you're on the fucking terrible list.
Terrible person.
Terrible list. You're nominated for most terrible. Since Hannah's here, let's get into the Bravo breakdown. As always, we talk about the best Bravo subjects. And, last night, Family Karma was the season finale. And I have to be honest with you guys, I'm not fully caught up. But I do have to say it's so good. Like, this is what reality TV should be now. Because it isn't what it was like 10 years ago. It wasn't what it was 5 years ago. We're very critical now. We expect certain behaviors. We hold people accountable. Like, we're not rewarding bad behavior anymore. I'm not saying I like it. I'm just saying this is what it is now. And Family Karma is probably one of the best shows on Bravo. They have like real issues. They have like petty light drama, but it's very real. And so like Amrit, who is one of the cast members, comes out to his like 97-year-old Indian grandmother who like doesn't even know what a gay person is. So like it was very honest. She said she didn't like it, but she was happy for him. And, he proposes, he gets her blessing. And last night, the season finale happened, and she died this morning.
Really?
Yeah, so it's like, it's very poetic. It's very emotional. I cried this morning about it. I'm not even like fully watched the show, but I was just like, this is really crazy. There's a lot happening here. And also the night that like they had their proposal or something, I guess they like, I don't know what was happening. I don't know the full story. I caught it for a second on Amaranth's Instagram story. Apparently like they were walking and they split up for a quick second and someone ran up to Amaranth's fiance, Nicholas, and punched him in the face.
What?
So it's like, there's a lot happening in Miami right now, but Family Karma, check that out. Go give some love to Amaranth. He just lost his nanny, his grandmother. It's a great fucking family reality show. Like, Bravo's doing good with this one. They need to keep
I'm
this on.
sold. I've never seen an episode, but I'm going to binge watch the shit out of it this weekend.
Oh, it's so good. It's just like, I don't know. It's great to see Indian representation on television. It kind of reminds me just like of Indian Shahs of Sunset or something. It's just like,
okay.
Yeah, it's like cool and different. All the guys are hot. I used to talk a lot of shit and be like, all the guys are gay because they like all are very effeminate. But now that I like really know them, there's only like 2 that are for sure gay. No, there's two openly gay cast members, but there's another one that I'm very suspect of. Let's get into Bloodjack Mediterranean, which I am watching right now. Hannah's not watching it right now because she says she can't with who don't you like on there? That's why you're not watching.
Oh, just the 2,
Malia
Sandy
and
Malia.
Captain Sandy.
Yeah,
the 2 culprits.
Yes.
Honestly, that's the reason that I didn't want to watch. But Sandy, like, immediately opens up with it in the first episode. Like, she says right away, like, I didn't like how it looked. I didn't like how it came off. I didn't like my behavior, and it's time to grow and change. So I'm just like, is this you taking some kind of accountability for last?
Or is this your publicist telling you what to say?
Girl, they all hate you, so you need to like thick it up a little bit.
Turn it around. Turn it around.
Turn it around. So I don't know what's going on with the fans, but I still don't like Malia. But it is a crazy fucking season. The chef quits and comes back and quits again. And Lexi's one of the stews. She literally cusses everybody out. She also lost her dad 4 months ago, so it's clearly grief. It's clearly a landslide of alcohol. We'll see how the fans are going to take it. You know, these days we're very critical, especially with the Below Deck. We're just so opinionated about Below Deck. We love Below Deck. Do you still get messages about your departure and everything that happened?
Like, I probably get about 15 a day just about the departure. I can always tell when there's reruns on. Like, I wake up to like 500 messages going, fuck Sandy, fuck Malia. I'm like, yeah, fuck them. And then I'm like, Hannah, move on.
Are you over it?
Oh, yes. I'm too busy to not be over it.
Are you watching Real Housewives of Beverly Hills right now?
Yeah, I am.
Oh, my God. So recently, Kyle Richards walked into a beehive on her property, had to be hospitalized, but she put the ring footage on her Instagram story, and I could not help but fucking laugh.
Hilarious. It was hilarious.
She's running frantically and jumps into the pool. Her dogs are like wondering what's happening. They're all like, her big German shepherds are just surrounding it. Like, how crazy is that? Have you ever been stung by a bee?
So I got stung by a dead bee.
Wait, it was dead?
It was dead. So the stinger apparently stays alive for 6 hours after it died. I picked it up off the floor in my apartment to put it in the bin. It stung me. I had an allergic reaction, and I didn't even get the gratification of knowing that I killed the bee because it was already dead.
You're like, at least when you get stung, you know they died. Like,
yeah. Like, and you're like, okay, I'm in pain, but you're dead. So who's worse off? This time was like, great, you're already dead. So I didn't even like get to kill you for the pain.
Well, I've never been stung by a bee, but one time there was some wasps hanging around the clothesline. Yeah. They were going in and out of the tube, and there was several of them. Well, my bright smart ass went and grabbed a broom. I was like 10 or something.
Started whacking them.
I started whacking the pole and I ran. So I was like, I'm good. Those wasps chased me until they got me. I got stung in the eyeball.
Oh my God.
By a wasp in the eye. My eye swelled shut. I looked like I had been in a really bad fight.
You look like you'd been stung by a wasp in the eyeball?
Yeah, pretty much. Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, guys, it's so good this season. Like, yeah, Kyle got stung by some bees, but the actual show is so good. Like, we talked a little bit on it on Hannah's podcast, a little bit about Erica Jane, and like she asked me if, like what my stance was on it, and I told her go listen to it, but I basically said, like, watching the show, holy fuck, it just looks so bad. When Eileen brought up her son in Hong Kong and she cried, she had waterproof mascara. We didn't see anything. But like now that she's coming on to tell like her side of the story, she's coming to tell what's going on with her. She's not wearing any fucking waterproof mascara.
I think it's one of those situations where it's like she knew obviously something was up. She wants to play this like strong, independent with her own career, with all of this stuff. And I'm smart, but then you can't have it both ways. You can't then play the dumb card. If you're being pulled into litigation 3 years ago, fucking look into it. I think that she puts a very big facade on for the show, to be honest. I think that she doesn't really share her genuine, because as well as it's like for how many years now we've been watching her going, he's my best friend. He's so supportive. We have the perfect marriage. And then suddenly he's mean, he's nasty, it's like
dismissive.
I don't know. It's very difficult to kind of go, well, were you being honest then? Are you being honest now? What parts are honest? And I think once you see that, it's very difficult to believe that she knew nothing.
And you know what? I can see Tom being that person, being dismissive, being powerful, being someone that says, look, I hold the money. But we would have all related to that if you would have just said that from the beginning. We're like, look, I am the true definition of a housewife. Yeah. I don't do anything. He pays for everything. But am I limited? Yeah. Like, is it lonely? Sometimes I just hang around my big house all day. But instead, she was like, I'm a pop star. I spend $40,000 on glam every week. And Tom's my best friend. Like, now it's a lot. It really is a lot to take in.
But when you look at these victims, you're like, my heart is broken for these victims. And just, can you imagine as well? The one thing I thought about the other day when I was watching it is like, if you were sitting at home and you'd lost your husband or something like that in a plane crash, and you were waiting for money from these fuckers, and then you're watching The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills and you're watching her drop 300 grand on a bracelet and you can't feed your kids because your husband's like, oh, I just can't.
What me and Hannah talked about is common knowledge. It's what's happening right now on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. It's very dark, but there's also like some lightness to it. There's so much good drama. We have great new characters. Crystal and Sutton fighting is like so funny. It's so stupid and it's so funny.
It's so stupid.
Like your ugly leather pants. I'm just like, I'm dead.
I love it. And like, take it back. Take that word back. Take it back. I'm like,
I'm not taking it back.
I'm
not taking it back. You violated me.
Yeah. If you look at the dictionary definition of the word violation in the dictionary, then you will find that the dictionary says that I actually use that word correctly.
I'm like, girl, you didn't get like, I don't even want to say the R word, but like that's what I would associate violate with. Like sexual assault,
it's a really
rape.
Strong word.
It is a strong word.
Do you know what I reckon happened? Because, like these days, we're up to like 300 housewives or whatever. And they definitely feel like a certain commitment to come in, mark their territory, put their stamp on the season when they're newbies. And I feel like that's what she tried to do. And then it went too far. And then she kind of overcommitted.
She couldn't backtrack.
Yeah.
She was like, I have to just smother her now.
exactly.
I've
And
held
you're like,
over her face for too long. I can't let go now.
I know. And Sutton's like, let me breathe. Like, that's all you needed to say, because violate was not the right word for what happened.
Exactly. You could have been like, girl, me and you aren't getting along. The last thing I want is for you to look at my fucking pussy. How about that?
Yeah, done.
Like, we are not getting along. You shouldn't be able to view my nipples.
Yeah, easy.
Okay, so now the last question. It's probably the most important question that I will ask you tonight, Hannah.
Okay.
And that is, who is Hunky Dory?
Kathy Hilton. So I'm scared for Kathy Hilton.
Why?
I'm scared because you look at the history of Housewives, and a housewife will come on and she is so loved and so adored, and she's in every meme, and then something always happens to break it.
So you're just like, you're scared that she's going to get Erica Janed?
Yep. Or she's going to get Lea'd. Everyone loved Leah season 1,
Yeah.
season 2. They're not loving her so much anymore.
She's real money, though. She's a Hilton. Like, that's legit fucking money right there. Like, this is a hotel franchise, a global company. I mean,
I know. So is Trump Tower. Is he problematic? Come on.
Oh my God. Well, let's talk about Roni real quick. Like, what do you think? Why do you think they have turned on Leah so much? Well, first of all, like, she is annoying. Even the last episode, she was worried about, like, girl, you are not fucking Rihanna. Like, Luann is not going to, like, Theo and Giovanni didn't even hit the top 100, and we all loved it. We all played it like 1,000 times. Like,
yeah, I don't know what Leah's deal was there, because, like, that Christmas song is quite obviously
horrible.
I could really see Luann's point, because I go as well. I'm like, if it bothers you that much, don't worry. Just say you don't want to do it.
Don't fucking do it. Exactly.
I know it sounds awful, but her personality when she's drinking is so entertaining to watch that maybe season 1, we were forgiving some of the behavior. Whereas now we're like, you're not bringing that fun, drunk, tiki torching, naked, psycho bitch energy to the show.
So you're saying she's a boring, sober person. Like, you were so much better when you were drunk.
Yeah. Look, I want to be entertained.
You have to be a bitch, but you're really boring now that you're sober. Sorry.
You're a bit of a grandma, to be honest.
For real. Like, I don't know what's going on with Roni. Like, I skipped like 4 episodes. I went back and watched them because everyone couldn't stop talking about the Ebony thing. I went and checked it out, and like, I could see everyone's point. Like, nobody wants a history lesson at cocktail hour.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, I could see what Ebony's doing. Like, this is such an important time in the world. There's a platform there.
And that's what I was going to say. She's not talking to those fucking women in the room.
Exactly. She's talking to us.
Exactly. She's trying to start a conversation. Like,
and Ramona's like, no, I can't. I'm
Black,
leaving my
white,
own apartment.
Green, purple. Oh, orange.
I know.
Oh,
she's like,
God.
I don't care if you're red, green, purple. I'm like, those colors don't even exist. Like, come on.
I just love how hard Ebony was going at Ramona to admit she's a Trump supporter. And Ramona's like, I want to hear about the matchmaker. Let's do a dance. I'm going to dance on the table. How's this? How's that? Just admit you're a Trump supporter. It's fine. We all know you got COVID at a fucking Trump party.
Thank you.
It's okay. We are all good. You can admit it, Ramona. Just say that you voted for Trump because of your taxes.
Thank you.
Whatever.
Say I'm rich.
Yeah.
Like, I voted for Trump because I'm rich. What didn't you get about that? Sorry about it.
And she'd probably actually do better if she just said that. But I go, Ramona's interesting to watch, but
She's a monster. She's a monster.
Horrible, hideous.
She's so great, though.
Oh my God. But like, I died when Leah was crying about her dead grandma, and Ramona's there like over her shoulder going like, the only person who's ever cared for you more than your daughter. No one's ever loved you like your grandma, the one who's died. I was
such
like,
a gaslighter.
Yeah.
She's like, now she's gone forever. The one person that loved you. Now you're alone in the world.
Yeah. The one person in this world that loved you, dead, gone forever. You're never going to see her. I'm like, oh my God.
Leah, now she's gone.
Yeah. You're just like, holy
your grandma
shit.
is dead and there's nothing you can do about it. So let me just hold you. I'm like, Ramona, you are ridiculous. But here's the ultimate question, because there was a lot of shit happening. Oh, Ramona's getting fired. And I'm like, they don't ever do casting while the show's airing. Like,
no.
The fucking bloggers and the Bravo podcasters, like, calm the fuck down. Is Bravo paying you? No, they're not. So calm the fuck down. Luann is aging like amazing. She looks so good.
She does look so good. Did you see her on Watch What Happens Live the other night?
She looked fucking amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you. That's what she's my favorite of all time. Of all time. Luann.
Oh my, do you know what I did love though? I loved this incident with the fire hydrant. And Luann's there going like, oh, I got arrested for much less than this. I'm like, Luann, just because you say it doesn't make it true. Okay?
Of course, Bravo's going to show the footage of her going, I'm going to kill you.
Yeah, exactly.
We have nominations for Kelly Clarkson's husband because he's a greedy motherfucker. Like, really? No, honey. I don't think so. We have nominations for Lexi from Below Deck because grief, alcohol, it just doesn't mix well. I don't know. Who's your nomination for most terrible?
Oh, thanks for asking. So I'm very excited. I'm like just waiting. So my nomination for most terrible human ever is Katie Hopkins. She's a UK journalist, basically, and she is the most homophobic, racist, disgusting piece of shit. She was coming to Australia. She landed in Sydney and she was coming to do Celebrity Big Brother with Caitlyn Jenner, etc. Now, she believes she's an anti-vaxxer. She believes that COVID is a hoax. You land in the country, you get taken directly to a COVID hotel. You have to stay in your room. When you open the door, you have to wear a mask. When somebody knocks and they leave you food, you have to wait 20 seconds.
For them to leave.
So she went in lockdown. She went on Instagram and said, this country is ridiculous. Or everyone here is like in lockdown. It's like a dictatorship. When the security guard came to knock on her door, she did it on purpose. She opened the door immediately and breathed on him. So she was kicked out the country and sent back to the UK.
You heard it here, folks. Katie Hopkins nominated for most terrible of the week for breaking quarantine rules, and she was deported from Australia. Sounds legit to me. Hannah, it's come to that time where we have to vote. Who is your most terrible?
I am going to have to go with Kelly Clarkson's ex-husband. Get a fucking job like the rest of us, okay? Seriously, get a job.
So maybe we should go with Kelly Clarkson's husband.
Okay, done. You're a douche.
He is the most terrible of the week. I want to thank Hannah Ferrier for coming on Everyone is Terrible. Go check her podcast out. Hannah, tell us what you're up to and where we can find you.
So my podcast is Dear Diary, You're Effed. It's a nice, easy listen. We don't delve into anything too serious. It's just a fun kind of Bravo-focused chat. I have my school, Oceans International Training Academy, for anyone who wants to join yachting. If you've watched Below Deck and you're interested in working on the high seas, go and check that out. The link's in my bio on Instagram, which is Hannah Ferrier 234.
I love that. Well, Hannah, thank you so much for coming on. As always, you're a joy to talk to and to catch up with.
Oh, thank you, Lynn. It was a pleasure as always.
I want to thank my subscribers, everyone that contributes to the podcast every month. Thank you so much. If you want the full uncut visual episode, you have to join the Patreon, because the Patreon is a full hour and we only put 30 minutes on iTunes. So check out me and Hannah. You can see us in action. I want to thank Hannah once again. I will see you guys next week. Bye, terrible kids.
Who's the most terrible of them all? It's Hollywood Lean.